Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Brood mother.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Thank you very much, Red Eye, and indeed, hello, I'm not Red Eye, I'm me. Hello, everyone, welcome to myself.
Sound the same, yeah.
We do, we're same age, same place, you know, we're all the same, us Brits. How about EG versus Faceless? That final pick, Brood, the panel was loving it. I was just talking to you now, gods. You feel that this is a great game for a Brood to be picked up 5th pick?
Clinks, it's like probably the worst hero to verse in lane is the Clinks. This is a hero that already has a really bad laning stage to begin with, and then you're versing one of the heroes that is best at ruining a laning stage. Their supports don't deal with the hero well with the hero. They could send the Brood mid if they really want to verse Invoker. Like all the heroes get wrecked by Brood more or less. So I don't know what the solution is. Perhaps they just go full on tri-lane with sentries, dust, and hope for the best.
Okay.
But it's such a good Brood game.
And what do you think about this as well? The panel kind of touched on it. The crit support Wind Ranger. As mentioned, a lot of talents do kind of support this sort of play style. Do you like it? And why pick it up in this capacity this time around?
I want to say it's okay. Like I play quite a bit of support myself, but I've never really touched much on the Wind Ranger. I feel it's a hero that does need a bit of levels, but as like a 5-position standard zoning support, there's no real reason why it shouldn't work. But the reason why it shouldn't work here is because you're versing a Brood, and Power Shot, some AoE, but realistically level 1, you're not going to be dealing with a big Spiderling army. It is nice to have an escape spell in the Wind Run to try and get away from the Brood, but very, very tough matchup.
I mean, how if you're EG, how do you compensate for the fact that this safe lane is kind of potentially set up to be a bit of a disaster? Do you just look to crush the other lanes?
Yeah, so the two options. One is you crush the other lanes. You sack a hero up top, in this case the Clinks, and then focus on the other lanes, which is probably not the best idea because Clinks is a hero that doesn't catch up well. It's a hero that's not going to have an impact if he doesn't have a good start. It's not someone that can just catch up in the jungle, just make the most out of a few levels. You really want your Clinks to get a few key items to have an impact on the game. So the other approach is you just full on tri-lane it. So you send Wind Ranger, Treant, both up there, double sentries on Wind Ranger, dust on Treant Protector. It looks like they're going to say, rather than try and win the other two lanes, let's just try and focus everything up top and hope that the individual plays of Universe and Sumail is enough to allow those lanes to go well. The problem is now, XY can completely crush mid lane with his rotations. He can look to rotate bottom and kill the Nature's Prophet. This puts a ton of pressure on both Universe and Sumail because both supports are going to be tied up in this top lane.
For sure. But, I mean, Sumail and Universe, these are two players that they're going to be ready for this. Yep. I mean, Sumail on one of his signature heroes, the Invoker, has the potential to be very, very terrifying. And Universe on the Prophet, we're kind of an old school sort of pick. It's something that we're starting to see already in this day one, teams touching upon again.
Yep.
Furin, it seems to be back, gods.
I mean, you can be ready for it, but at the end of the day, it's still 2v1 lanes because Earth Spirit rotates around. He's already done one roll in on the mid lane. He's already applying pressure there. He can swing bottom and look for a perhaps first blood on the Nature's Prophet. It's so dangerous, regardless.
Can they get the vision of this one here? Yeah,
we get.
We'll find it.
Lane gets a bit tougher for exercise, but he's got another sentry now, so he's just got to place it in such a way that he can D-Ward. He doesn't care if he loses his sentry as long as he takes out the dire one and gets that trade.
Bottom lane, ooh, XY. Bit off the mark there with that initial roll in there. Put the Frostbite in the slow from Black with the axes. With the chase down, bring Universe pretty low, not quite enough. Unfortunate there for Faceless. If they hit that roll, that would have been a dead MP. Top lane, Eyesight Sights being gone on, goes for the TP back out to the Shrine.
Fine.
Will just make it.
That's the dust, though. That's the thing. This is like his job. When you're as a Brew, when you get that full trialing treatment, you're not expecting to have that dominant laning stage. You take a little bit longer to come online. You take longer to get that level 3, perhaps, where you get the double spawn spiderlings. And until you get your spider army, you're not exactly doing Brood things. So it's going to take him a bit longer, but he knows his team can make up for that elsewhere. They're already doing pressure in the mid lane. They're zoning out the Nature's Prophet, also level 1. So things are going well right now for Faceless. Realistically, all 3 lanes are going all right for the time being.
Top lane, though, as you mentioned, Eyesight Sights is definitely just going to go for the D-Ward now. This time we'll get it. So there, as you mentioned, securing the sentry coverage for the time being. Crit has got a backup sentry. He's prepared for the D-Ward.
Third sentry,
of the D-Ward. And
can you find it?
They've got it.
Yep.
Again, the battle of the sentry wards up on that top lane. Other lanes, mid lane, the match for the moment, 11 for 5 on Sumail. 10 for 3, very close between these two.
It's still like a question, like, is EG, like, you look at the economic investment right now in this detection, that's 300 golden sentries, another 180 golden dust, have yet to get a kill. Same time, Faceless, they spent 200 on sentries, but this is still Eyesight Sights, 1v3, keeping both supports busy. And those supports are not only kept busy, but they're losing gold. They're not going. How are you getting boots right now? They're not really getting pulls off. Bounty runes is all they're getting, so Crit gets a little bit of extra cash. But soon someone's going to have to upgrade the courier. You're going to have to buy more wards. You're going to have to buy more sentries. It's going to be a constant uphill battle to finish any kind of items for the EG supports.
Absolutely. So this decision from the supports, it is making sure the space is there for Arteezy. So you talked about how this Clinks could potentially have a tough time. So at the use of these resources, they are securing the farm for Artur. So both cores at the moment, himself and Sumail, are on par with that that Faceless are bringing to the game so far in this first 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think this is still the best way to play against the Brood. So as much as I'm talking about the downsides of what's going on right now for EG, I don't think there was a better alternative. The alternative is you roam your support, you leave Arteezy solo, and Brood just carries the game. The other thing is you have to note, this is Eyesight Sights. He's the key player for Faceless. When he has a good game, things go well.
Deep play on the bottom lane. Faceless hunting for Universe. TP reaction will be coming through from Zai. Faceless very deep here on this bottom lane between the tier 1 and the tier 2. And yeah, XY, he's going to be taken down here. Zai will help the turnaround. Universe getting first blood on this bottom lane. Absolutely perfect here for this Furion.
Bit of a overextension there and very well played. Universe has been just such a solid rock in this bottom lane for EG. In the offlane, he's always so consistent. He's one of the probably lowest death offlaners in the game right now. And he's just so good at reacting to any pressure coming his way. So the perfect play to have on your team when you're giving him a 1v3 lane.
Mid lane, XY tries for the roll in. Get the connection onto Sumail though. We'll have to just back away. Not too much else he can offer this mid lane. We'll leave jabs to it, but Sumail with the alacrity, maintaining good control of this lane. And as you mentioned earlier on, one of the weaknesses could be potential ganks coming in and being successful. But if XY is not hitting the initial roll, it's very hard to catch Sumail between himself and the Magnus before 6. And in fact, jabs, he's going to be getting gone on himself as Zai comes in with the rotation. And there's the Sunstrike and Cold Snap, beautifully done there by Sumail. Absolutely perfectly executed.
I think jabs just needs to screw away there. He held on to it. I mean, in hindsight, obviously he should have skewed away, he would have lived, but he held on to it, really tried to just not use up that cooldown and just think he could survive his way through it, but EG managed to outplay him. It's a nice kill, but he did have a way out of it.
Bottom lane, Faceless will get the dive successfully this time around onto Universe. Nuts and Black chase him down past the tower. Will get themselves Faceless's first kill on the board. Still top lane, Arteezy, up at the top of the net worth. We're seeing Eyesight Sights being able to pick up a few CS as well now, but Zai back up there along with Crit to look to again maintain control of this safe lane and try and keep Eyesight Sights out of it.
This lane will quickly get difficult for EG. They do have the sentries, and the nice thing about the Trine against Bruise, you just stay invis. Another kill.
Again, wow, XY with these failed rotations, trying to come in onto Sumail, but Universe was there with the TP in.
Top lane, meanwhile, Eyesight Sights is dusted and brought down.
Arteezy.
He's close to getting a return kill. Arteezy actually, will go down there, so...
Okay. So, that's a Spider doing Spider things, but of course Arteezy getting the kill beforehand. is nice enough. They'll clear up a couple of the spiders. But this mid lane's got to be the issue, because you are giving Sumail a lot. He was already doing fine in the CS. Now you've given him 2 kills in this mid lane, 6 minutes in.
Yeah, Jab's giving up the initial kill, the really harmful one, but the Earth Spirit like a cherry on top. And they are going to rotate 3 heroes in.
Hasted Crystal Maiden it. Nuts with the eyes onto Sumail.
Like, he wants to fully commit to this one just yet. To be wary, that haste does not last all too long, and I do like what Black's doing. He's constantly pressuring this tier 1 tower, knowing that the rotations are constantly coming in mid. His team's like collapsing on mid, which means that EG themselves have to protect mid. So this bottom lane is being kind of constantly left alone. So Black is doing his best to try and take this early tier 1. Problem is, Trent's going to continuously heal this up. So if he wants to take this tower, he needs to try and do so before that living armor becomes like level 3, level 4. And perhaps we'll even see Faceless commit more heroes just to prevent this tower getting healed up.
Top lane, Faceless coming in with a rotation that we yet to see. XY and Nuts moving up and looking for Arteezy on EG safe lane. We'll see if they get the successful roll in. XY's been off a couple of times mid and bottom. This time again able to close the gap. Arteezy already into the tree line. They'll pop down 1 sentry, but Arteezy's well out of the range. And it's another failed gank attempt from Faceless. These Earth Spirit rotations not working out as well as they would have hoped in these early stages. And at the same time, bottom lane, Black will be forced back. They haven't got the actual catch, so he will survive. But they really need to make things happen with this Earth Spirit, because EG, they're excelling off these failed ganks.
Yep. I mean, I think there was a lot of confidence in Faceless's draft, but the way it comes down to execution. So far, we've seen a couple mishaps with XY's movement. Ganking a Clinks without dust, to me, having a sentry is fine and all, but like it's unreliable. If your CM doesn't get close enough for that frostbite, you just skeleton walk outside of the sentry range. You don't get that slow onto the skeleton walk. So just some, I think, poor decisions from Faceless with just how some of the rotations have gone down, but Dust now bought by the CM, Earth Spirit also, both supports just suddenly buy Dust after that failed gank. And it's one of those things where it's like, great, they reacted, they're buying Dust now, but it's pretty costly when you 2-man smoke top and you don't get that Clinks kill. That should be a freebie.
Zai actually going to get a vision of Jabs here from the high ground. Sumail in the neighborhood as well. Shrine still on cooldown. Jabs will get the skewer back onto Zai. Sumail continuing to move over. Nuts is there. We'll hold back the duo, make sure that they don't get away with anything, as they could die potentially quite deep. At bottom lane, of course, one of the great things here was Zai. This pressure that you talked about, Black applying, it's being recovered over time.
Yep, that tower was down to like 400 HP and now almost fully healed up, so definitely one of the upsides of picking this Treant Protector, and why it will probably be one of the top picks here.
Bottom lane, again, the roll will miss, but they do connect the Boulder Smash. This time, they may be successful with the Frostbite, bringing Zai down low. Try and come in with the Shockwave, and they do get the kill. Jabs manages to get himself in position at the last moment. Sunstrike in return, though. Sumail! My goodness. Blindly going for that one as well. There was no dire vision on that high ground. What a madman. Sumail picking up the 3rd kill. He's hitting 5k net worth. He is having a scarily good opening on this Invoker.
Very, very impressive stuff, and it's great. The one hero that's probably best suited at dealing with the Brood, at least in the mid-game, is having a good game. So they can perhaps use some of that Invoker's AoE potential to deal with the Brood, the split push, pushing out this top lane. For now, it looks like they will give the Wind Rangers some levels, try and get that level 4 power shot up in the top lane, but as it stands, yeah, Sumail is definitely the player to look to on EG's side as far as having a good start and helping give them a strong force in this mid-game to fight into Faceless.
Interesting as well from Arteezy. As soon as he hits 6 with the Soaring and Aquila, already moving across aggressively into Faceless' jungle, he's going to be able to swallow this Centaur here with a quick gulp.
His hero doesn't... This is not a hero you want to sit in the lane farming with. And
he wants to fight.
You're sitting in a lane farming against a Brood. It's an impossible ask. So he needs to be in mid lane and bottom lane in the enemy jungle. He'll grab a bounty rune, so XY knows he's here, or at least somewhere nearby, because that bounty rune just disappears, so there's somebody in Viz in the neighborhood.
Actually choosing up, just trying to farm these Ancients.
Okay, I mean,
it takes a bit of time.
Why not? It's like farm efficiency. You can't farm up top. Crit's taking the lane. Crit's actually taking a lot of damage to the Spiderling army. It looks like Ice has managed to zone the Wind Ranger. 2 points in power shot, just not enough to deal with the Brood, and it'll be a second tower going the Brood's way. But yeah, I was going to point out XY on the Earth Spirit has no boots. He's bought triple sentries. He just used one. He's buying all the support items. He is really having a poor start. Not able to get all too much right now.
Mid lane trying to make the go on Jabs here with the cold snap. They've got the Sprout control, but Jabs immediately out of the tree line. Will be safe.
Good purchase on the clone blade. He's gone for the Midas. I saw him saving up 2k. I'm like, is he going for a fast blink? Because that would be very unusual. He didn't get the arcane boots. He didn't get the treads, and Thinking this is going to be a slow-paced farming game. Midas on Brood, Midas on Magnus. Only the Troll not going for the Magnus on the Midas on the core heroes.
Radiant's middle tower.
We'll see a successful move from Arteezy. He comes in, gets the kill on mid, just a Crystal Maiden, but ultimately does lead to a bit of damage on the tower. Kind of a small consolation prize for what's happening in the side lanes though. A Troll getting a tower at bottom, Brood getting a tower at top. Does feel like Faceless is still getting the better of these exchanges. And if not for Sumail's fantastic play and start in the mid lane, this game would be looking very bad for EG right now.
I mean, for sure. The kind of control that EG's going to have to try and keep over their own jungle. I mean, they've got the 2 wards now, but even with that, Ice is going to feel very confident just swarming this jungle. And, I mean, that area of the map is just super dodgy territory for EG to move into.
Not only is it dodgy territory, but it's farm being lost. If you want to, you're looking at this Faceless team and you're saying, oh, double Midases, they're farming. You may think like, okay, let's try and out-farm them. Well, you've lost your control of your jungle. You can't use that farm. Faceless are just getting way more out of the map. Troll's farming the bottom lane, Magnus is farming mid. They've also still got all their towers, so it's not like you can counter them by taking over the Radiant jungle. You can't really access that Radiant jungle while those towers are still up. All it takes is that like one Radiant ward in the river where the access to the jungle is, and suddenly you're not really getting much farm out of the map. It's only Sumail who's actually finding farm right now. Rinranger's getting a bit at the top lane with the power shot, but I mean, she's still bottom of the net worth. Klinx is trying to use that. Klinx can enter the Radiant jungle because he's invis, so he's probably the one hero most suited to trying to counterplay the Brood by going offensive, but it's still very tough for EG to find farm right now.
Mid lane, Faceless, Jabs on the front.
They brought in Brood for this one as well. They really want to take this tier 1 mid. Taking this would completely limit EG's ability to move out on the map and like completely just kind of starve them out. You've lost all your tier 1s at that point, and this is a key tower to try and hold on to, but can you do so? Vlad's on Troll, very good early game fighting presence out of this.
How do you stop this? I mean, on the side, yeah, the full lineup of Faceless ready to fight here if evil geniuses do come in for us, any sort of defense.
Haven't got good teamfight heroes outside of the Invoker, and that's a hero that pre-Ag Scepter, level 12, I mean, this Invoker is huge, don't get me wrong. Highest level in the game, most farmed by a good margin, but you're still not quite at that stage of the game where Invoker's ready to fight, so does feel like EG just want to buy time for at least like the Ag Scepter and a few more levels.
No, I mean, as you said, it's looking at the moment a game where Sumail is just going to have to use what he's got and sort of carry EG through this rocky position of the game. Yep. Really kind of hit off the tempo to allow Arteezy to get involved with some action, really catch himself back up on the net worth, because as we can see on the board, very much suffering this game, Arteezy.
He's not farming, nor will he start to farm anytime soon is the scary thing for EG. You think what this Klinx is going to do, and he's got to get involved in kills, because he's never going to farm his way back into this game. He can perhaps be useful as an objective taker for hitting towers, finding kills, but that's really his most useful place on the map.
He's going to live with the courier snap. Nah,
a little bit slow,
holding back.
Yeah.
Can they make it go on anyone?
Well, they're going to find Ice.
Okay, now with the Overgrowth and the Sunstrike, they'll find the kill.
Nice.
And will manage to take him out. Get rid of that incredibly annoying spider.
Sumail even gets the kill too. He wasn't farmed enough as it was, but...
I mean, yeah, this is a 14-minute Midas Ags complete for Sumail.
Yep. So, roll in top, Arteezy getting jumped on by the Magnetize, but it's mid lane where Magnus.
I mean, Sumail, he's pulling off the show. Gets a solo kill just like that onto the Magnus, and at the same time, though, in return, Sumail, he's trying to lift, but Arteezy's trying to pull it back down. As
he got another death pact off.
There we go. The emergency lunge. Is it going to be enough to save him? Doesn't look like it is with the Magnetize. Oh, no, he's not. Yeah, not to make sure that the job is sealed and dealed.
That was like all 6 stones being used for a full Magnetize. Earth Spirit doesn't quite solo kill him, and he does even more off.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage for an ES with the... Considering what kind of items he has, which is very minimal.
He had, I think, Death Pact at the start, then got a recast from it, so... A lot of juking from Arteezy, but ultimately does still go down.
I mean, as you said at the start, Klink's a very hard hero to recover on. Where do you even start to look to getting yourself back into this game when you've suffered in the laning stage and you've struggled in this early portion where you've tried to move around the map and get yourself involved in action?
Typically, you'd look to go for rotations with either one of your supports or your offlaner, some kind of key initiator, but you're playing a Nature's Prophet, which isn't really like a ganking offlaner in the sense you don't smoke up with like a Blink Dagger and try gank people. The supports is, I guess with Treant Protector, you look for some kills. Like we saw top lane, the overgrowth plus Clinks. You can find kills with that and the Sunstrikes. To me, that's really Arteezy's best way to approach this game is finding picks. And also, as mundane as it sounds, it doesn't sound like very charactered. Scout for your team. Play that Ricky Bounty Hunter type role. If you can scout and get info for your team, great. He actually is going to backdoor a bottom tier 1 tower. This is good. This is useful from Arteezy. It's not really the ideal position to be in. You don't want to be underfarmed. You don't want to be kind of sacked as he's been because he's versing a Brood, but you've got to make the best of this situation, which is going to be, yeah, ratting some tier 1 towers, scouting out for your team, and just trying to see what you can get out of that. But Faceless will always be looking to take more elsewhere on the map, and again, it's focus on this tier 1 mid.
And also Roshan, Black's in the pit. He's bringing it down to half health. It's a hard time for EG to fight around as well because Faceless, they've just picked up the Blink Dagger on jabs.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do to stop this one. I think EG probably thought it may have even gone down earlier. They're not looking to contest it. They want to just make what they can on the side of the map. Nature's Prophet getting some damage at top. Clinks in the bottom side of the map getting some farm. So, I mean, for EG, they're at least getting what they can elsewhere, but ISO6 needs to be careful. He is alone at this mid lane.
Nice, Sumail actually with that Sunstrike in the pit, very close to being able to get the steal, but on the kill, wasn't the case.
I feel like they could have killed Ice on the tier 1 mid tower there if they knew he was alone. They don't, that's the thing. If they went on him...
Arteezy gets RP'd, skewered under the tower. Nuts is there for the follow-through control, but Sumail, he's going to come in and try his best to save Artur with the living armor as well on the Clinks. Arteezy trying to get himself out of here, but he's been boulder smashed. XY with a beautiful stun and silence onto both Arteezy and Sumail. Sets up for a second, and both the cores going down for EG. An absolute nightmare for them on that bottom lane, losing not only Arteezy, who's died a few times already, but Sumail, their kind of hope and glory at this stage of the game.
That's really the big one. Slowing down Sumail, that's his first fight he's really chosen to get involved in. He's been throwing Sunstrikes, but he hasn't been going to team fights.
Crit's a free pickup as well in the mid lane. Faceless, relentless with their aggression, and now onto the tier 1 in the middle. And this should be a freebie. 3 heroes down on EG. Black, they have to obviously get it down in one shot. This is one of the tricky, well not tricky, just annoying things against playing a trim protector, isn't it? You have to get towers in one push. You can't do half the job.
The big problem for EG this game is they drafted a lineup that was meant to excel in the early game. They wanted to do well in the lanes and snowball from there. Like heroes like Clinks want to get super active and fight early on. Same for the Treant Protector. Use that living armor to play aggressive.
Zai does get the overgrowth onto 2. Sumail already working his way into Ice on the high ground. Will take down 1. They'll get the bash and the follow through tornado onto the Earth Spirit with the deafening blast as well. They'll pick up a second.
Okay, finding some much needed kills at free key time.
Ooh, gods. Look at the build from Universe. He's going phase, drums, and he wants to get that Aghanims online ASAP.
I mean, I think he has to. There's no way at any point in this game Arteezy's going to be able to find farm or push out lanes. And that's the thing. You're going to be able to push out lanes against this Broodmother, so Aghanims, Nature's Prophet. Sure, why not? Clear out those spiders. Do some good damage. Let's go back. Ags Octarine. Don't know what year it is, but we're going to see some split push Rat Dota coming out from Universe. Invoker also pretty good in that area with the Blink, the Ags, high levels. He can split push fairly effectively. Going to be up to the Magnus, the Earth Spirit to find and catch these heroes. This is the kind of game where you want to go into like a Shadow Blade type build for jabs on Magnus eventually, so you can find those pickoffs a little bit easier. Really needs to be able to catch and punish heroes like Nature's Prophet and Invoker wherever possible.
Bottom lane, Universe pushing in 3 members of Faceless in the neighborhood. So they won't be able to catch him quite in time as Universe plays it safe, backs off, TPs away. Black, of course, going for a very defensive build, the Manta style, then into the BKB.
Yes, going for Manta over the SMY, which is perhaps more standard because of the Treant Overgrowth, giving him a way to get out of the lockdown, get out of some like the Invoker annoying spells like the Cold Snap. So a bit more, like you say, defensive compared to the SMY and just reactionary to what is on the EG side of things. See another gank on the Ice. He's actually died a few times at really rough times, and they'll find him once.
Yeah, straight around with the wrap, and they've got him. Most certainly. Cold Snap as well for Sumail, for a tornado out to the side, make sure no one's thinking about jumping in. Just potentially worry of a potential Magnus counter initiation. But Faceless themselves, they're miles away. They're on the bottom lane. They're looking to put some pressure onto this tier 2. They will let the tier 1 go. A bit more money into the bank for RTZ, who did manage to finish off the Desolator.
These kills add up. This is one of the, I mean, not maybe the more farmed heroes at this moment, but Brood has been kind of near that top of the net worth point for quite a lot of this game. So it's one of those reasons why I think Brood fell off as a hero. If you go back to when this hero was quite popular, is that you'd win your lane, you get the Midas, you get really high level, high net worth, but then when you die, you give that much more to the other team. The way the comeback gold works is such that being behind and killing a Brood can be really fruitful as far as heroes like Klinks who don't have that much farm. So 3 kind of kills in a row on Ice Ice's Brood has found him not as farmed as he'd like to be, and also EG a lot more farmed than they once were. Is it going to be a 4th in a row?
And RTZ's got his eyes. Yep.
Doesn't look like they've... I don't think they can do it with the Nature's Prophet alone. They're going to try.
They're going to try.
Yeah, maybe they can actually.
With the Sprout
with the
and the Deso. That's going to be a freebie.
Okay.
Universe is already on his way out. RTZ heads straight up to the north. And
Nice.
that's your Aghanims complete. So 21 minutes in, it's a respectable Ag timing from Universe.
Asking what the comeback for RTZ's Klinks is. It's going to be the hero that shut him down. It's the Brood. He is the comeback money. Just
Feed
keep
off
on
the
killing
spider,
him.
yeah.
Again and again. And Ice is quickly turning into a liability for his team. They had such a good, strong start, but he's just getting caught out, ganked time and time again. And I think EG have recognized that he's the easiest hero to kill. He's one of the best targets to kill because he's typically alone. Faceless have this 4-1 split, and I think they need to perhaps look to group up, bait the Broodmother, have the Broodmother join up with the rest of the team. They were showing signs of doing that around the mid-tier 1, but once they took the mid-tier 1, they've since split up. They grabbed an Aegis, but while Black used the Aegis to push some towers, take the tier 2 at bottom, Ice wasn't with the team, and he just became cannon fodder for EG. He keeps getting picked off, and this game is a lot more even due to some really good decision making from EG, catching him out, finding him numerous times.
Yeah. And as we're seeing just with this Deso, of course the Alacrity buff as well, very nice for RTZ to just pick tower after tower. Huge amounts of damage, and Faceless just not quick enough with the reactions to do anything about it.
It does feel like EG are outmaneuvering Faceless in a lot of ways this game, and that's going to have to change, and I'd say stemming from jabs on the Magnus. He's got a Shadow Blade now. He can look for those pickoffs. He can start trying to find and punish some of these split pushes. I almost feel like they want to get a gem soon. Oh, Zai. He's going to TP out while dusted. They didn't see him there due to the fog of war. But yeah, Jabs needs to start getting involved. He's not being totally quiet, but I just don't feel like he's set up enough kills. He just needs to start throwing RPs, getting solo kills on cores. You don't have to look for team fights. You just have to kill a core hero. And similarly, I think Ice, the other player who needs to kind of step it up. He's just been caught out a few too many times. For Faceless to turn this one around, he needs to play more around his team or have his team play more around him.
Sentry dropped here by the river with that observer just to spot out any sort of movements from Jabs or Ice. Yeah.
It will be Octarine, at least for now, queued up on the Nature's Prophet, so see that full-on split push, Nature's Prophet reality. And AoE clear is, I mean, Troll with Empower, there is decent AoE clear, but without it, he doesn't exactly do too well. Magnus can, but Brood not exactly excelling in that area either.
Ice this time round should be able to finish off that ultimate orb that he's certainly been trying for a few times with those recent deaths he's had on the spider.
Yeah.
This time round he'll be able to get that secure.
This time around there's supports. It seems like up until now the support's been sitting behind the Troll mostly, but they're changing their tune and it's let's sit behind Ice, let's protect him a bit more. Let's play around this Broodmother who's gone for the, I mean, look, interesting talents, cooldown reduction over the 350 health. Something that maybe could have saved his life at various points. Manta into Radiance, it seems. He wants to go late game, right-click damage. You get plus 70 attack speed at level 20, and you get plus 8 max webs, giving you a lot of mobility as a right-click carry in the late game, assuming he goes for that. The spider health also kind of nice, but given the build we're seeing from him, I'd expect him to go for the extra webs.
XY tried to come across for a bit of a warning mission, but ended up walking into the clutches of EG, as RTZ picks up another kill. And is slowly starting to climb his way back up. Still very much at the bottom in terms of core farm. Continues to get kills like this. Will certainly get himself back up there. BKB nearly complete. It'll be that little bit harder to get caught out. But again, as you mentioned earlier, it still feels just the lack of the presence of Jabs on this Magnus at this portion of the game. We're not seeing them do anything with the RPs.
Well, that's the thing. You look at Ice and you're like, well, he's died a few too many times, he's getting caught out, but it's also like that wouldn't be happening if Jabs was finding kills, if Jabs was maybe doing what his role is meant to be. So while Jabs while Ice is getting caught out and not doing his role, it's perhaps as a result of Jabs' lack of influence. XY is trying to be his impact. I think XY's done really well. Like, he dies there, but he's playing aggressively. He's scouting out, he's trying to get wards down, he's trying to set up his team. But Jabs on the Magnus is just not as involved as perhaps he needs to be. Similarly, Troll, Black is very farmed, has a great game, but we're not
far more into
it seems Faceless don't care about fighting though. They've got all these Midases on the Magnus as well as Brood at least. Seems like they don't have fighting on the agenda. Even CM has a Midas. They've got triple Midas. They're happy just to get picked off as long as they're farming, and it has maintained a gold lead up until now. Recently, EG's actually taken over, so I think they do start to be concerned. Not only are they behind on net worth, but they've got triple Midases. These are not items that add to your net worth, particularly outside of maybe the Brood, who benefits from the attack speed.
Good Jabs. The Shadow Blade, but again, the mid lane catches his attention, and he's just back to...
He's holding the gem now. This is, to me, a necessary item against the Treant, which comes perhaps a bit later than he would have hoped for, but...
Should be another Roche here for Faceless. Evil Genius is already splitting up across the map. In no position at all to contest. So.
You can see on the minimap, the little yellow dots scouting around. This is Ice, Spiderlings, trying to see what's going on. He's very good with heroes like Brood, Nature's Prophet at just splitting up those units, getting all the scouting information for his team, and it seems like the intel is there, knowing that Roche is a safe freebie for the time being.
Extra bit of gold pushing Ice very close to having that relic done. 2.8k on him at the moment on this Spider. But of course, whilst this all goes on, Sumail continuing to keep himself right at the top of the board, as we saw, has picked up the Octarine as well as the Aghanims now. So he's very much ready to fight, and he's also ready to just continue to farm. Now get the catch onto the Magnus, and he's going to be out and down. He'll pop the RP.
He's going to lose a gem.
Oh, no. Not great news for Jabs and Faceless. Evil Geniuses just seem to be just dealing a little better with this portion of the game. We saw at the start where EG, the lanes looked a bit of a mess. Arteezy was struggling, that kind of awkward portion where he was trying to find his place around the map, but now it's really Faceless kind of feeling that they're starting to slip behind in these decision making.
It just seems like they're just opposed to the idea of grouping up. Like, Magnus getting caught up there, it's like, well, even if he Shadow Blades in and scouts out and finds an EG hero, what's he going to do? He's got no damage backing him up. There's no Troll, there's no Brood, no Earth Spirit Magnetize. He's not getting a kill there. Mid lane, they're going to find a support, just a Wind Ranger. It was just a blink from Troll, a roll from XY. But, oh god, look at the treants.
That's a lot of treants there from the Spiders.
Ice is like, wait, Magnus,
Spiders
I need an Empower? Where's my Empower? I'm scared. The Spider is scared of minions. Like, what world do we live in? But Black doing what he can to try and find trades in the map, but could get punished.
Okay, yeah, Sumail with the set. There's a BKB and an Aegis on Black. We'll see if they can pop either of them. Zai looking to move into position on the back lines, but already the sentries down quickly with the silence, making sure that there's no chance of Zai throwing out anything in this fight. They'll force out the BKB charge.
The triple sentry line in mid.
Ooh, bottom lane, look at this. Jabs looking to set up for a skewer, and indeed Universe sent back into the clutches of Ice. Universe still tries to TP, isn't going to quite make it. They'll take down the Nature's Prophet, mid lane. Sumail, Boulder Smash, could be in trouble here. Nuts with the control, allowing Black to get in close and personal with the freezing field as well. Faceless, they get another kill, and a massive one at that as well, bringing down Sumail on the Invoker. 70 seconds. Yep. They may even be able to force out buybacks in.
And that was largely stemming from some good individual play. Black forcing the issue in mid lane, finally taking a chance, and when Sumail comes in, they have the sentries for the Treant. I think Treant got a little bit overconfident because he'd taken the gem away, so he wasn't expecting all those sentries there. There was 3 sentries ready for the Treant Protector. So while there was no gem, they still had good detection set up.
And that play, forcing Sumail to use the buyback. In return, they'll pop Black's Aegis very quickly. They do have that RP though. We'll see if they can get in position to fight. Black has to get out. There's the jump through. Get the 2-man RP. If they could kill that Invoker a second time, they'll be in a fantastic position. Overgrowth trying to hold them back. Sumail, he's got to keep himself alive here. Will just get himself out in time, but Zai pays with his life. But they had to keep, if they lost Sumail there, EG treading on very thin ice. With the shackle onto Black. Black being brought down low by the power shot. Good Boulder Smash though. Holds Arteezy and Sumail back for the time being. Black goes down though still. The physical damage from Arteezy too much. buyback from Zai. Sunstrike is going to connect onto XY. That's the Earth Spirit down as well. EG hitting back very hard. Jabs. They have vision for him. He'll skewer down to the low ground. Has got the blink, so will escape. But this guy, I mean, as you know, say Faceless making some mistakes. EG, it's a little bit scrappy between these two sides.
Yeah, Jabs hits a really good RP there, but unfortunately for him, Windranger hit a sick shackle shot at the same time on Troll. If Troll could attack during that RP, it was all over for EG. Sumail was going to die back there. It was going to be a complete disaster of fight for them, but that shackle really salvaged things there because they didn't have damage output onto that. They had the Brood doing some good damage, but without the Troll, they didn't have the real right clicker adding his Empower damage into the RP, so slight turnaround as EG managed to bounce back. Does cost them the Invoker buyback, so they are going to be in this kind of volatile state where if they lose Invoker, they could quickly see this game swing back Faceless's way.
I mean, just look at this pressure that they can put on though with the Treants.
And they know there's no RP, so they're not afraid of the Magnus quite as much. They do still have to respect the Blink Skewer though.
Looks like EG will play it safe. They, as you said, are playing around this portion of the game without that Invoker buyback. It's very risky.
Ice is cosplaying as Naga Siren. Manta, Radiance, Boots of Travel, Octarine Core lined up. So why not? Says, my team's not going to pick me Naga, I'll just pretend I'm Naga.
It's going to be scary as it goes on. Wow, talking about Ice, they were straight into a shackle shot. He's down for 80.
That's
no
why they're
buyback
picking Naga
available.
Siren. That's, yeah, Sentry Wards lined up. This has been such a big vision battle between the two teams, and ISS has died numerous times because EG's supports have been so good about always having detection laid down and having Observer Wards paired up with it. Similarly, we've seen Faceless when they win that mid-fight, it's largely because of the detection advantage, so vision for these Invis heroes has been absolutely crucial throughout this game.
And the build for Arteezy as well, full in on this building push. The Desolator into a queued up Assault Cuirass.
Wants to be able to survive himself and try and help his team survive against the right-click. I mean, it's all right-click damage from Brood and Troll at this point, due to the nature of the build. I mean, Radiance, he has some AoE damage, but much more going to be about the Brood right-clicking through with the Insatiable Hunger and all that.
Universe, Octarine complete. So the pressure, the kind of the D-pressure that EG are able to exert against what Faceless have been trying to do on these side lanes is going to be beautiful. The Treants will be everywhere.
It's going to be pretty frustrating for Faceless, and that makes it a lot harder for Magnus to move out, find those RPs. You can Shadowblade through waves and try and get to the backlines, but that's where what happened to Ice is going to happen to him. If you try and Shadowblade through waves to find pickoff, you may be walking into a Sentry Ward and feeding away kills, so seems like the plan is just to use Ice to push out lanes. This Manta Radiance is very good at split pushing, and also allows Ice to push out lanes without risking his own hero. And even if he risks his own hero, it's better him dying than a Magnus or a Troll. So he's kind of playing that sacrificial lamb for his team in some ways.
And talking about the Troll, how close are we to having that Skadi on Black Glass? Very close to having the money, but we'll see if he does save for buyback as well.
They're going to rent Arteezy, but there's no detection on the front liners.
Smoke will be
CM has one.
Jabs with the beautiful RP there, jumping what I believe to be blindly onto the high ground, and he gets the clinks. That was a fantastic heads-up play from the Magnus, who has been struggling in early situations, but that RP, there was no holding back from Jabs.
Yeah, really nicely done. Got Brood on lane defense against the Nature's Prop, and the Radiance definitely helps a ton against this Treant army push, and this is probably one of the big reasons he goes this build. The other option is Mjolnir, but the nice thing about the Manta Radiance is you don't have to leave your hero there. You can push out a lane with illusions, so Mjolnir you have to be there right-clicking, zapping down lanes yourself a bit, and with this build you can just send Manta Illusions, push out a lane without risking his life, and that's been the problem. He's tried to push out lanes, and then he gets TP'd on by Nature's Prophet, sprouted, Clinks kills him. With this Manta Radiance, he doesn't have to risk his life to push out lanes.
Skadi is indeed now complete for Black. We'll go full in on the purchase, so no buyback for the Troll for this portion of the game. Shiva's Guard complete for Sumail.
I wonder if Troll's going to worry at all about the Sprout and get any items to help him against. He's got the Blink for now, but obviously if you're in the Sprout getting attacked, you're unable to blink out.
He's got the Manta.
I guess so you can roll the dice and hope that you Manta out of the Sprout. Does that breaks the trees with the Sprout, I guess?
Oh, sorry, the Sprout, sorry. I've got trees on the map. I thought you were talking about Overgrowth.
Oh,
God,
no. There's too many trees. Nature's Prophet, tree.
No, yeah, you can't Manta out the Sprout. No,
so
of course.
He's thinking, I don't know if he's worried about that, is my thing. He can go range form and just try and right-click whoever's nearby.
Ooh, nuts.
Ouch.
Oh yeah, no, I guess it's down to his team really to force him out.
Oh, he's got the big Treant to go with the real
Oh,
Treant.
has he? Did he get the big treat?
Yep.
Oh,
Treant's got a little buddy.
Good old Trevor. Trevor the Treant trying to man up against this
He can't beat the Manta
a fight
illusion.
against this Manta illusion.
Oh,
Poor old Trev. Rest in peace, son.
Tried
He'll
his
never be
best.
forgotten. He'll be a piece of paper in a couple of days. The 13. It's a bit of a strange game really between these two sides. I mean,
yeah. It's been EG who've done a really good job of taking matters into their own hands to find kills, and that's kind of slowed down Faceless a lot.
it seems like we've kind of seen stability from both Sumail and Black. They're kind of the two forces, as we can see at the top of the network. But I mean, the XP is just all over the place, but it's very close between these two sides. And the builds as well, of course, Universe bringing in again this kind of that period where we saw Ags Octarine being the optimal build. I believe when the Ags that it kind of changed was introduced, we saw a lot of players building it up.
He's even gone
And
Refresher.
the Refresher, absolutely, just sticking to the classic
Man.
Ags Octarine Refresher.
With that level 25, that's going to be pretty brutal.
Oh yeah.
Brood's got Octarine almost. This is Sky. This is not... If someone told me this was going to be a Brood build, I would have just been like, yeah, right, okay. You also just don't expect it, because like with a Magnus, you're thinking, oh, you go right-click Brood. Like, you have Empower, you have Battle Trance. Like, you have two teammates who really beef up your right-click capabilities, but no, he wants illusions. You got to push out these lanes. It is an illusion patch in a lot of ways.
Looking for RTZ. They will manage to get the dust, but the boulder smash off point. RTZ continues to run all jabs.
Cancelled it.
Oh, he cancelled the RP.
okay.
But maybe they can still find the kill anyway. They have the silence. RTZ pops the BKB. Shackle shot onto the Earth Spirit. The Overgrowth will hold back the CM. They've brought down XY. RTZ continuing to try and run himself away from Ice. Sumail looking towards Nuts. The Frostbite's there to hold back the Invoker, but Sumail, he'll move forward. Looks to take down Nuts, who goes for a freezing field, but a quick tornado from Sumail will make sure that they find the CM as well.
They're getting kited around by
Jabs
the
is
Invis.
still looking for action. Oh no, he didn't have enough damage for Universe, who was Overgrowth.
Wow.
Oh, Universe surviving thanks to Zai. And the rest of them just on the hell out of there. Black tries to escape, will be successful.
Ice couldn't hit anyone. They were all invis, and then the really nice plays were Zai. He's got this Quelling Blade with the gem, so all these sentries being planted by Faceless just kept getting chomped up by the Quelling Blade. CM would plant a sentry to scout out Sumail, who was invis, Zai was invis, and then instantly it'd get eaten up, and then Ice couldn't hit anyone. He just kept getting kited.
Black will look to jump in on Tartiz. He needs a bash. I tell you what, it was not getting it at all there. Still with the Skadi, bringing him down low. It's not quite enough. Arteezy survives.
They really need a
manage
new
to slow
gem.
down the push.
That a gem, and the problem is you really want the gem on the front liner like the Magnus. Not sure if that's something. I feel like Faces just have to invest in that. They're being split pushed to death right now.
Jumping onto Sumail, boulder smash, catching the two cores, but the shackle shot, quick in reaction onto the Earth Spirit. The force back Sumail turns around with a meteor. Black, no BKB, pops the Manta, had to get himself back up to high ground. The Overgrowth's there. Sumail and Arteezy moving forward, the power shot, bringing him down low, but the force Black out to safety. Jabs, jump forward, gets the BKB skewer onto Sumail, putting him back into the hands of Black. Another tornado sending Black up. Sumail, can he get out? He might be able to. No, the spiders bring him down. They've found Sumail, but they've lost Black. They've lost XY. Arteezy, BKB, mans up to Jabs, takes the Magnus out, now down for 80 seconds. Tornado thrown in by Sumail, won't clip onto Nuts, but they've cleared the space open on this bottom lane. They've taken the tier 3. Arteezy alacritied up, turns towards the racks with the Treant backup of Universe, and they will clear out this bottom lane.
Just can't engage, and there's too many lanes that need to be defended. Top lane, they lost the tier 3 and almost the rain tracks as well. It's this Treant global pressure.
Look at how much money he's got.
He's loaded. I mean, so is some of the rating here. As Brood suddenly gets a huge amount of gold, but
6.3k gold on
he couldn't really spend it. Was the big part of the problem there. He was like, I got to get to the secret shop, my Octarine core, can't really finish it. And he's on constant base defense, dude. It's hard to get that Curry out there as well. So EG managed to capitalize and set themselves up to take Roshan now as well. Likely we'll see, yeah, Sumail just bought back. This is where that buyback really pays off for Sumail, because he can now immediately...
He bought back for this. Ooh,
yeah, he bought back for the bottom fight, knowing that it get his team the racks, and now it's fantastic. When you can replace a buyback with an Aegis, you're more than happy to use that, because it not only gets yourself an Aegis, but denies it from Faceless, stops the Troll getting another Aegis to try and push off of, so... puts EG in a really strong position.
And of course, Black buying back as well for that as well at the bottom.
Yes.
So you're now at a position where you kill Black, you've got 2 lives to do it. And beautiful timing there, both Universe and Ice picking up the Dagons. Some kind of gentleman's agreement there.
Yep.
We'll both grab Dagons.
Something like that. It synergizes really nicely with Octarine.
Yep.
You've got a huge mana pool, and
Bit of
you've
burst
also got shorter cooldown. You know, Octarine is all about lowering cooldowns on some of those items, so zap away. And
Oh yeah, what with the 20% cooldown reduction on the Spider? Yeah, they maxed it up. It's a 9-second nuke. It's pretty good.
Yep. And like Dagon 5 has a ridiculously short 15-second cooldown, and that's before the Octarine influence. So it gets down to like 11 or 12-second Dagon cooldown at Dagon 5, so it's pretty absurd. Oh, 9 seconds?
9 seconds.
9 seconds?
It was 20% cooldown. Yeah.
9-second Dagon 5 cooldown. This
That's
is
good. I mean, you're going to get a bit more money to get there, but at this rate, he may just get there.
Oh, he's farming more than anyone in his team right now. He's the one farming all the treants. That's why he's top of the net worth for his team, because he's pushing out lanes with where the treants are and getting ridiculous farm.
And one thing, though, that they are lacking really on Faceless is any sort of true strike to deal with Arteezy. He's, of course, got that 20% evasion talent, and that is proving to be a little bit of a difficulty.
They're staggering him down. There's kind of the theory in their minds, or RP him through it, but yeah, it's not easy by any means.
Yeah, I guess for sure. If they get a good RP and then just being able to cleave off another target, you're still going to be able to do huge amounts of damage to Arteezy.
That's the nice thing about this Brood build, and then the CMO Brood, they have got a good mix of damage, but I think the bigger problem is just, it's going to be constant pressure from all 3 lanes. You're limited on buybacks now. They have got a new gem. Magnus holding on to that is absolutely key, and that's, I think, where this game really got out of control is when they lost Jabs at the top lane and he lost his gem, that's where the game got really difficult for them. That gem was such a crucial item for them against Clinkz, Treant, Invoker, that losing it really set them back and made it impossible to make plays around the map.
And to give a picture of how much that's kind of changed the flow, you just look at the difference now between Black and Arteezy. You know, for the most part of this game, Black was at top, he was on par with Sumail, and Arteezy was really struggling. Now they're on pretty much the same level as Farm. Arteezy's only 1,000 behind Black at this stage, so really closing that gap between the 2 cores.
Well, you've got Nature's Prophet with Ags Refresh Octarine, and you've got now Treant with Ags. Faceless are not ending so this game is either going to be won by EG soon, or it's going to... Faceless win this game, it's going to take like 90 minutes, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. They need a perfect RP situation, which is just becoming increasingly hard to find.
You can't push out lanes, and if you ever do, Treant will just ulti, clear out your entire creep wave, like he's got full map app going, like there is no pushing right now for Faceless. They are trapped in their base, X-Hero Siege mode. They are going to be defending for a very, very long time right now. They've got the right heroes to do so with the way Brood's built and itemized. Like I mean, there's the Dagon 5. He's already finished it. You know, a couple minutes after we asked, will he finish it? He has. And
going for the Eagle song.
Yeah. We'll see
of
how
course,
this goes.
into the E-Blade.
Troll did go back for an item to deal with the Sprout. He got the 4 staff, so he's going into that
Certainly
late game Hurricane Pike, and I think it's necessary. You're just going to get kited too badly. But does mean he's playing with no boots or whatever, or has to put the Blink Dagger away, so we'll see how he deals with that. But I guess it's just like, oh, I'm stuck on the high ground, don't need movement speed if I'm not leaving my base. And, I mean, that really is this is kind of, I mean, from Faceless' perspective, like, there's no easy plays to make. They can try have Magnus make some aggressive moves to try and catch heroes outside the base, but end of the day, he might just be walking into a gem and feed away his life. He doesn't want to leave the base without backup, but if you leave the base as 5, whichever lanes you're not pushing out are being pushed in, and that's where you're just going to lose racks. So for Faceless to leave their bases 4 or 5 is very difficult. And they're also going to be immediately scattered out. Like, they push, right now they've got 4 or 5 heroes outside in mid lane. Well, there's Tree and Eyes on them. Although it looks like they are using this time to try and clear some of those eyes out, knowing that they are up.
This game getting increasingly harder and harder for Faceless to pull through in with the way that EG's played over kind of the last half of this match so far. EG getting himself into a very, very good position. Universe, I mean, how's he doing on the Dagon progress? He's now maxed his out. There we go. Now has the Dagon 5 as well.
More a question of where can you go from here? Perhaps you pull a Moonshard, someone like Arteezy.
Pull the Moonshards, I think. I mean, it's kind of surprised that we've not seen that already from either side. I mean, even getting one given over to Black if you're Ice. But I guess the E-Blade is something that you want to have.
He's actually still got room. He's not quite 6 slotted, hasn't sold his Midas yet, so we'll see. It looks like a Shiver's queued up. A lot of good armor from that. More synergy with the Octarine core, so... Still hasn't hit level 25. I mean, it's definitely massive and really nice. Ooh, smoke mid. Faceless trying to get a catch.
Oh, this could be a smart wraparound as well. EG, they are down here, but Zai, if they can catch Arteezy, that will be the massive one. Zai, oh, he gets the blink out. They will still find him though. They'll wrap back around. They will get Zai. Kill at the least, and that is the gem being dropped.
It's an okay kill. They really would have liked to get the cores at this stage. Taking the gem away is decent, but immediate rebuy. I was about to say, like, there is no way that EG are not going to play with the gem. Sumail buys it because he's 6-slotted, doesn't need the money, and will drop it for his team. The big thing is if you kill him again. If you take away both gem, like the rebuy of the gem, then it gets difficult to play for EG. Having a gem in these games is just a necessity, so making sure you hold on to them is always going to be a key point.
Sumail. Right up out top. Jabs. Does have blink RP. Looks like they aren't gonna look for him. A sweep round into EG's jungle. Maybe find Arteezy, but Arteezy at the moment up on the top lane, pushed very far in, and keeping himself hidden in the tree line. So Faceless unlikely to find anyone here with a sweep of the dire jungle. No one back there at the moment for EG.
Just thinking like a backdoor on the rain tracks. So I know that taking that rain tracks makes a huge difference or anything, but if he scouts a hero by himself, he could set up a kill with a Nature's Prophet TP in. Treants everywhere being summoned, so Faceless gonna have to defend soon. Probably it's great that the Brood has got these items, this Naga Siren-S build, because it means she can solo defend while the rest of the team. I mean, you've got 4 heroes on the other side of the map playing aggressive solely because of Brood's build. If Brood didn't have this Manta, Radiance, Octarine, you couldn't push lanes out. But because of this build, the rest of Faceless can actually look to play aggressive and find pickoffs.
Interesting as well that ISO decides to upgrade the bots a second time before getting an E-Blade or such into his inventory, rather than the Midas.
I mean, this gives him the ability for when his team is playing on the other side of the map.
For sure.
He can just TP in. I guess there's no easy summons to TP on. I mean, his own Spiderlings, but that would require pushing them across the map, so... Yeah, just give him that bit of global presence. But I think that realistically, he's not like he's hardly even using the Dagon right now, so he probably just sees his ability to join a fight as more important than having a bit of extra single target damage.
And I guess at this pace as well, he just says, well, I'm probably going to get both items anyway.
Yep.
EG aren't forcing the issue.
Yeah.
Faceless are kind of given time to maintain the state of their base, get the lanes pushed back out. At the end of the day, they are just that one set of racks down on the bottom, so it isn't the end of the world for Faceless. It's just it's going to be very hard for them to be able to take a racks from EG.
May even be considering other items, like items to boost up his illusion, start thinking about some actual right-click, so that he can be a bit more of a force onto the BKBs. He has Battle Trance and Power, so perhaps why not get like a DPS item as well as your final item. You can have a DPS item with the Dagon 5. You've got Manta Radiance.
Bottom lane, the Shackle here onto Black, and Black's out. Just like that, down for 2 minutes. Faceless, they do have buyback on the troll. We'll see if EG are able to force it out. Top lane, the pressure coming in from this army of Treants will finish off the range racks. Jabs with the Empower will do his best to farm them up. It's a lot of gold.
He's feeding a lot of gold, but at this point, these heroes are more or less 6-slotted, so he doesn't really damn care one bit at all.
Can they hold off without needing Black to buy back? It seems like it's a hard proposition. EG can... They certainly have the power to push it and force out that buyback. With 90 seconds, it's a huge window.
Brood for now is doing a really good job of keeping these lanes pushed down. You don't have to defend bottom. I mean, you will just push out these lanes a bit because there's heroes there, but it's a lane where you've already lost racks.
Got eyes on Arteezy here. Holding the gem, jumps in. There we have it. Arteezy dragged back. Can they bring him down in time before he's able to get the BKB or get himself out? Oh, pop the cheese. Arteezy's still alive. There's the buyback from Troll. Artur now puts the BKB, turns towards Jabs. Black comes in, gets the bash. They've got the control onto Arteezy. They'll bring him down. Did cost the buyback on Troll, but they'll get rid of the clink. Sumail trying to go for the split up top. And they will be able to hold him back. But that is the buyback committed for Black.
So Alacrity Forward Spirit, they're going to get this top racks.
Objective still going the way of EG. Mid-tier 3 as well.
Yep. Oh god, treants everywhere.
Oh.
Just hearing that noise, the refresher. It's going to be giving Faceless nightmares right now.
She's going to look to try and catch Sumail, but Sumail quick with the BKB. So will manage to get himself back to safety, but indeed, look at this melee racks in the middle lane. The Treants, they may even just get it here as they come in and focus it, and they will. That will be the melee racks going down almost certainly. Surely, oh my goodness, okay. Okay, they will just keep it alive. But this game, 50 minutes in.
Oh, Trine's got Ags now. Game gets even more fun.
Oh, Octarine.
Octarine, yeah, sorry, that's what I mean. Just
I
picks
was
it
going to say
up.
Ags at 50 minutes. Oh, that's a bit slow.
With
No,
the cooldown
Ags
reduction,
Octarine,
you know?
yeah.
These cooldown reductions plus Octarines
Oh.
give you some pretty damn low cooldowns. Trine's Overgrowth has received some nerfs to the cooldown, I believe, but still finds himself at 44.6 seconds on the ultimate.
Yeah, 625. Look up. 3-digit decimal. Hurricane Pike done. But this game, I mean, if Faceless can pull this back, it's... I mean, EG is going to be on tilt watch for the rest of the series. Because EG should be able to close this game out.
Absolutely. And it's going to be... The win requirement for Faceless is very much defending your base and killing EG when they don't have buybacks. Or killing them all and then pushing, and then they buy back and you kill them again.
Why is this Spider not buying people moonshots? He's got 9k in the back. Come on, Ice.
He's got room to grow, you know?
Yeah, but he's... I mean, I guess Abyssal Blade's what he's looking at. And, I mean, he's got the money for that and buyback, surely, with 9k?
He's very, like, he has no idea what item is going to fix this game, or he would have bought something. This is definitely a sign that he's like, man, what do I buy? He's really kind of stringing it over, like, we're down all these racks. There's no item that solves the split push problem or helps you push out lanes. The solution is killing heroes, and that's where the Abyssal Blade is probably in his mind. He's like, all right, the only way we do this is to kill heroes.
Poor old nuts. Say a prayer for the CM.
Oh, he's, yeah, no Ghost Scepter.
Yeah, he's gone.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Surprise.
He lost the curry as well here. Didn't have anything on though, Faceless.
One of those games where, like, if the supports have managed to get a bit more farm for Faceless, like you have Ghost Scepter there on a CM, if you had an Ags on Earth Spirit, we could have seen perhaps the Earth Spirit saved, like with the Troll when he gets ganked bottom, if Earth Spirit's there, you Ags, you stone him, you pull him to safety, you can save his life, but the support farm differentiation between the two teams is massive right now.
Spend your money, Spider. I mean, everything counts for these last few defenses.
Was the courier trying to get to the secret shop, probably?
I mean, maybe he's just got to get there himself. As likely. Refresher has been picked up by Jabs.
That's, yeah, must buy.
If he can
queued
get
up an
picked
Orchid
up
for a while,
RPs.
but he's really not really found himself in the Magnus. Not a hero I've seen him play that much. Typically it's Ice, but he's not found many RPs when it's been needed for Faceless.
Now, interesting for Black as well, opting to 6 slot and no boots at the moment.
Yep. Doesn't want to get sprouted up.
And you've got to be aware of Samael's plays. He's got a refresher in his backpack and ready to go. The overgrowth here, with the cooldown as low as it is, there's no reason not to. Faceless trying their best, but EG certainly in the position to take this game. What can they do to stop it? Jabs eyeing up potential RPs. And looking towards them. Oh, that's a good RP. That's a very good RP. Catches 2. Pops the refresher. Oh, he's not got mana for the second RP. He refreshes and walks home. They will pop the Aegis.
He's got it soon. He's almost got mana for it.
Okay. Can he get it off? There's the second BKB charge. Arteezy looking to focus for the Megas. Will get it. Nice skewer back. Where's the RP? There it is. He'll catch Artur, but not Samael. They have the freezing field. The bashes as well. Arteezy's down. Samael prods the refresher. The second BKB charge, but the bash is coming through from Black. He'll get the disarm off. Samael trying to walk himself away. EMP is going to bring them down over the tornado combo as well. Faces have got to be careful. Samael trying his best to do it, but the Dagon 5 comes in and hits hard. Will bring down Invoker.
Still Megas.
They have been Mega'd.
Yeah.
They have been Mega'd. Buybacks are there for EG. They'll just come out straight away from Samael.
Surprised to see Sumail. I guess he expects to have to use defend, but I don't know. You've got
done.
Megas.
He wants to get out of this game.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like, you've got Megas. You may not have to use that buyback even with a long respawn. And the other thing you've got is Treant. How do you push without a creep wave? And guess you can clear a creep wave instantly on all 3 lanes. Treant Protector. So I don't think he needs a buyback, but ultimately EG is still in a very dominant position, but if you're Faceless, you know, you can't get split pushed if you have no racks to defend. That is the position they find themselves in. But, you know, all you got to defend is your tier 4s and then your throne now. This is where they want to be, Owen.
Maybe EG will throw. That's what Faceless are holding out for here.
I mean, Mega defeats have happened before, you know. We've seen teams come back from it, and this is definitely a game where EG have found themselves in this position through a lot of split push, through pickoffs, and you're gonna have to find a way to kill the throne, not just racks.
He spent his money, and he brought a BKB as well as an Abyssal. Why not buy it all? Ice can have it all.
May play with what, like no boots now. Sell your Might. Definitely time to sell the Midas.
Yeah. Who's still got their Midas at 55 minutes in? Come on.
CM does. CM can, but...
Okay, CM, that's allowed.
Magnus...
Crit as well, he's not quite 25.
Yeah.
We'll let him off.
Magnus doesn't need his. He has sold his. I mean, he kind of does because he's not 6-slotted, but I think he sold it to get his refresher. Problem is, he's also not level 25. Probably like that minus respawn time, but...
Zai being the sneaky treat. Hanging down bottom.
Any big 25s coming up? Doesn't...
Oh! How do we miss that, Gods? There's a rapier on black.
Yep, got it. Did he just got that after that fight, or? Not sure.
He must. He's only on 800 gold. Yeah.
Looks like he just purchased that one and doesn't buy back, but doesn't really matter. You got a rapier. You lose that, you lose the game, and again, you still can't push out. You're versing Treant. Like, this is where
you have no creeps.
I've been in these games when you're against a Treant with Ags, Octarine, you don't push out lanes. And the other big problem is he's got Nature's Guy's Blink Dagger, so if you ever go in a fight, he blinks, he bashes you. Another 2 seconds later, he bashes you again. Like, it's constant bashes coming out from Treant Protector onto a carry like Troll with a Rapier. You have to kill that Treant very quickly in a team fight. They're going to try to defend with Brood while the rest of the team push out. Looks like they've found Treant.
They want to get Zai.
Oh, he blinks though.
Zai, he's out.
Oh my gosh, he's fast on that one.
Goodbye.
Puts a tree down, so if they chase any further, he's going to overgrowth everyone. Deep wards from Nuts.
Did you see that as well? Nuts is got a Maelstrom.
That's
Get the creeps out.
an odd one, but sure, why not?
Dude, 60
Plus
damage.
60 damage. He's a carry.
He's a right clicker. Maelstrom CM.
GPM talent, you know, he's gonna again. You gotta play differently. You're against Megas. This is not
This is a situation that we're not. It's not the most common.
You don't play Dota like you're playing Dota anymore. Very different game for Faceless. For EG, it's changes a bit now. Once you've taken all the racks, it's kind of frustrating because you're like, oh, we've got Megas, right? We've won. And it's like, actually, wait a second. We've got to win a fight first. And winning a fight where Faces can hug their tier 4s or they're going to be jumping on you is not the easiest thing in the world. So they really want to try and play around these tree and eyes as much as possible.
XY, potential trouble. Jackal into the Sunstrike, bring him down low.
But yeah, I mean, for EG, you're really looking for that pick-off. Wait till you can, like, they found the troll at bottom lane. Pick-offs like that is what's going to secure them the win in this game. So they're just going to, for EG, it's play patient. Wait your time. Know that you've got supports who are transitioning into the late game. All 5 of their heroes almost hitting the 20k net worth mark. Just the Wind Ranger a little bit away. And you've got 5 cores. Wind Ranger is played typically as a core in the mid lane, you know.
Crit is loving this. This is the most farmed he's been on a support Wind Ranger for sure in a pro game. This is, you know, he's, as you said, he is a core.
And I mean, majority of items are items you'd like to see in a core.
Yeah.
You know, Blink Forest minus like Bloodthorn. Hasn't got an Ags, may consider going back for one, but we'll see him hit level 25 soon. If he wants to get some attack range, he can.
Well, what does he get? I mean, the power shot at this stage, is it that?
With the, like, I've seen like some, I think it was an Arbed clip where he had like Octarine with it and like had some like constant power shot spam. It was pretty clowny. I don't think you want to spam power shots because you kill the trees, you know. You don't want to kill your treants. Trees. Those are valuable things. You know, friendly fire will...
Oh, Black's actually found Crit here.
Doesn't have an MKB.
Crit's got Zai coming across as well. Shackle isn't going to latch. Jabs tries to get forward with the skewer, won't grab him. But Zai should be in trouble here. They have the vision.
Meanwhile,
chase him into
in the base.
tree line, and yeah, the base potentially in trouble here.
Oh, he didn't get the BKB off.
Arteezy will hex up Ice Ice Ice, but Ice 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 now gets the chance to BKB, turns towards Arteezy. The rest of Faceless are coming in. Arteezy into the tree line, trying to hide. XY has found him, but the BKB's out from Artor. XY looks for the rollaway, somehow manages to survive. Jabs, can he find something big with this RP? He's looking at Universe. Will be able to skewer him back. They need the damage to come from someone. Ice 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 will surround him. Dagon onto XY, blows him up. There's your RP. It's only going to catch Universe. The second one, though, will get Arteezy, the bigger target. Arteezy falling low, but Samael's there to cover his back. Comes in with the 3-man tornado. Buyback from Black. They're looking towards the Ancient. The Fortify's already been used. EG, finally, just before the 60-minute mark, are able to close off the game. As that was one of the longest holds we've seen in a while with Mega Creatures. Faceless tried their best, but Evil Geniuses just seeming to be the side with the more experience of games at this stage.
Yeah, they played really well around the Nature's Prophet, able to pressure the lanes, and I think the most impressive part about how EG played this was just how they allowed Arteezy to recover.